I'm going to do a little bit of quick and dirty banjo work on the wind box banjo this morning. I'm going to move the angle of the neck slightly so that I can get a little taller bridge on here, and basically all that's going to mean is I'm going to move the hole where the tailpiece comes through up, maybe quarter inch, half inch. It's going to change the angle of the neck a little bit, allow me to pull a little taller bridge on here, which what I'd like to have it do is I'd like the string height to be about the same here, but just a tad closer to the neck right down along in here, so that as you go up the neck, especially on this short neck, if you have your string height a little bit high, it stretches the string when you match it, and then it makes it be a little bit out of tune. So I know it probably don't sound like much, but I'm going to do it and see if it makes a difference. I believe it will, and I'll let you know how it turns out. The thing I'm going to do while I'm taking this apart is I'm going to take this tailpiece off of here. This is a real old no-knot tailpiece. It's actually quite a good one. It's worth more than the whole banjo, and I've got another banjo project I'm working on that I'd like to have a nice tailpiece for, and I don't really need this much bridge for this kind of banjo, so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and make me another fork bridge, you know, take a kitchen fork and cut it up, and I'm saying bridge, but I mean tailpiece, and use that for a tailpiece on here. That way I can save this one. I'm building what I'm going to call a Dynaflow banjo. It's made out of a Dynaflow transmission part, and I'm going to save this tailpiece to go on that banjo and replace this with a kitchen fork. So we'll see how that turns out too. Found me a pretty nice old kind of heavy silver fork. It even has some engraving on it, and it has an initial on there, N, which could stand for knot. Anyway, this is a no knot, so this could be a knot. Anyway, I'll drill a hole in this right here. I'll stick this here. I'm going to bend the fork this way and then bend it back up and put some hooks in the end of it, and I think that will work. And then I'll just bend this bottom part around up underneath here. Yeah. Okay, here's the same fork after I bent it. And the reason I bent it, I didn't want these tines, I cut these off, I don't want the tines to come way out to here because these strings need to have some room to spread out. So I fixed it in such a way where it would sit right about here, which should put the strings pretty close to where they were before, and allow this to come up a little closer to the top of the box. I suppose I could have allowed these a little bit more room here, but I think I can work with that. We'll see how it goes. Now that I got my fork bent to about the right angle, oops, now I get my box, put my neck back in there. I went out and found me a screw that was the right size, the same size as the screw that was on the tailpiece bolt. And I got my fork ready to make my tailpiece out of. I think what I'm going to do is make a mark right here and bend my fork outside on the vise before I put it on here, just because this box isn't that strong, and if I just went to bend it on here, I might crush the box. So I'll go ahead and put a bend in it right here. That way this fork piece will come up under here. Alrighty then, here she is with the fork. I actually wound up breaking off the back of the fork after I bent it a few times, so what the heck, it doesn't matter. The part that does matter is this part. This is holding the strings on just fine. I wound up using an old homemade maple bridge that I'd made somewhere to be a little extra tall. Works well with this box because the box sinks in a bit. The strings line up really good on the neck, and the reason that's important is when you're going up the neck, if your strings are too high, when you mash them up here in the middle, it stretches the string and it's out of tune. So if you got the string at the right level all the way up the neck, it's going to make a difference. That's whether you're playing on a real banjo or on an old box like this. So that's it. I'm done with it. I think I've said that before, but I think I'm actually really done with it. Anyway, that is what it is, and thanks for watching. Y'all have a nice day.